What's going on, everyone? This is Mitchell Mander here, and welcome to another review of the Boruto anime. Today we're going to be covering episode 173, and I gotta say, guys, this is one of my favorite episodes of Boruto so far, just because of how everything's setting up and how everything's tying into the manga events. I love this episode, and I'm fully anticipating the next 2 or 3 episodes, because if it lands, this car actuation arc may end up being one of the best arcs in Boruto, period. Both anime and manga. Maybe a bit of a bold statement, and there definitely has been some weak moments in this arc, but if it lands, like everything that's setting up the events in the manga, it will literally be at least one of the best anime original arcs. But anyways, before I get into the review, I just want to say, if you like this type of content, be sure to like and subscribe as I cover the Boruto series. And I've been covering the car actuation arc since it started, and I'll continue to do so until it ends. Let's get on to that review. So before I get on the meat of this episode, I just want to cover just a few things before we get into that. So, Boruto and Sarada, they're going to deliver Mr. Anito's ring to his wife, Mia. And it turns out she's actually been informed that Anito has passed away. And Boruto and Sarada were really, upset about this, considering Victor was like, yeah, we're going to ensure his safety. He's going to be fine. And Victor pretty much had him killed off, apparently. And you can tell that Mia's not only hurt, but she's also very suspicious. So Boruto basically tells her, even though Sarada tries to stop Boruto, Boruto tells Sarada that, hey, I believe that she needs to know the truth. So he basically tells her that Victor's a very dangerous person. He's very suspicious, and his company's up to something, which obviously sets Mia off, and which we'll get back to her. We'll get back to this scene in a little bit. Okay, also in the early part of this episode, Mitsuki wakes up, but unfortunately his organs aren't going to be ready for at least a month. So it's going to be still some time before he's back in action. And he's tied up to a tube, and if he detaches those tubes, Mitsuki would pretty much die instantly. So, unfortunately, despite the fact that Mitsuki wants to help Boruto and Sarada and the others, he can't do anything. We learned from Sugetsu, who was actually sent by Orochimaru to basically figure out what Boruto and Sarada are up to. That's when he tells them, they're in the land of valleys. And Mitsuki realizes that everybody's there without him, so he wants to go and help, and Log over here ends up putting a sedative into his arm. So unfortunately, Mitsuki's back to sleep, which kind of sucks. I was hoping that Mitsuki would be involved somehow at the end of this arc, but what can he do? Okay, so the main part of this whole episode is the Feudal Lords coming to visit Victor's company. So as we learned in the last episode, Konohamaru and Mujino, decided, hey, that's our opportunity to sneak in and figure out what's actually going on deep in this research facility. So the Feudal Lord shows up, and Victor is being all formal, like, hey, welcome to my company. And shows them around, and before he's like, okay, I'm going to show you my grand creation. But before you do that, step into this room. It's like the sterilization room, which was pretty neat. So it was to sterilize them and, blow all kinds of particles off of them as well. So it was pretty cool. Anyways, they head downstairs, and Victor shows off his grand creation, which is using the using the Hashirama cells that he obtained from those hidden leaf dogs to actually use to basically cure all diseases on people. There's like a bunch of people that are shown being treated. They're being quote-unquote treated, and that the Hashirama cell is basically causing them to cure diseases and possibly reverse aging. So this is amazing. So the Feudal Lord is convinced. He's like, I'm not going to let those hidden leaf dogs get in your way. And that's when one of his assistants actually releases him out of a genjutsu. So turns out then, ever since the Feudal Lord went into that sterilization room, he was under a genjutsu. And it turns out that Konohamaru and Mujino actually took the place of some of his assistants while they were on their way, but they're fine. But anyways, Konohamaru and Mujino snuck in this way, and as soon as they realized there was they're going to be placed under a genjutsu in that one room, they released it. So the Feudal Lord actually sees the true colors of Victor's company. So as it turns out, everything's not hunky-dory over here at Victor's research lab. Instead of actually doing things that would benefit mankind, yeah, he's conducting human experiments, probably injecting these people with Hashirama cells, and they're probably either dead or just, they've lost their minds, but they're within this machine. So yeah, Victor's got some explaining to do, and he's not too happy that Konohamaru and Mujino are there, because he thought that they were gone, but no, they were hanging around. But anyways, this part was actually really awesome. So Mujino just shows up right in front of Victor and just slashes his arm straight off. Just slashes it off right then and there. And the Feudal Lords over here freaking out. He's just like, oh my gosh, what are you doing, Victor? This is horrible. I've been lied to, blah blah blah. But anyways, Victor was actually, even though Victor had his arm slashed off, yeah, he was actually tricking everybody the whole time, because his arm is actually still technically attached to him, because it's moving and it actually turns on the machine in the middle. And then he reattaches his arm in a style that's very similar to Kakuzu from Shippuden, which I thought was actually pretty interesting. So the machine activates. So what exactly did Victor activate? What has his company been working on this whole time in secret? Well, it's none other than the Divine Tree. Yeah, that Divine Tree. Or at least an artificial version of it. But yeah. So Victor, yeah. Buddy, you were in the 4th Great Ninja Ward. So did he like catch a glimpse of this tree and he's like, yeah, I wanna recreate that. But anyways, yeah, so not exactly a good thing you're doing here, Victor. But just like the actual Divine Tree, anybody that's near this tree gets immediately swept up by it, and their chakra gets drained out of them, and they presumably become Zetsu. Not really sure if that's going to happen, but Konohamaru actually gets one of his arms caught by the Divine Tree and gets some of his chakra sucked in. Seemingly takes out his arm, because Vegeta's like, hey, what happened to your arm? And Konohamaru's like, yeah, that thing, it sucks your chakra. And the funny thing here is, so, yeah, the guy from the the Mitsuki retrieval arc, that scientist dude that just randomly popped up a couple episodes ago that's somehow alive? Yeah, well, apparently he dies a second time because he gets sucked up by the tree and taken away. And Victor doesn't seem to care. He's just like, yep, we need the tree needs some nourishment. And it seems like that his secretary, that outer chick, yeah, she's like, yeah, I prepared a bunch of specimen for the Divine Tree to feed on. And this part was screwed up. So a bunch of employees in this company are in this room. They're like, hey, what's going on? Why did they tell us to stay in here? So Victor, that is screwed up. You're feeding your employees to the Divine Tree. That's screwed up. I was looking at that. I'm like, oh my goodness, dude. But yeah, that's crazy. Victor, screw you. Anyways, the episode comes to an end with Boruto and Sarada realizing something's going on. Mia actually wants to go see the president herself, because she's pretty enraged here that the president and the company is withholding information from her. So she wants to go visit him personally, but they're like, hey, no, he's a dangerous person. And that's when they hear seemingly a massive earthquake. So they realize something's going on at Victor's facility. So Boruto and Sarada go to investigate, and that's where the episode comes to an end. So I gotta say, this episode, I love this episode. One of the best episodes of Boruto, just because of how it's setting everything up and how it ties stuff up to the manga. I love the fact that this was a complete surprise, because I didn't expect Victor's company to be doing something like this. I figured he was probably supplying Kara with like various medical equipment and stuff, because we see some stuff in this facility that we see in the manga. So I kind of figured that would be the extent of why Victor was included in Kara. But no. It would seem that not only is Kara doing experiments on stuff for the vessel, they're actually doing this to create, essentially prepare a Divine Tree, which shows that, Kara's intent is the Divine Tree and to drain all life on Earth. So I love how this is tying to the manga. I think it was done excellently. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to the next couple of episodes. And that's all I got for this episode review. So again, one of my favorite Boruto episodes, and it seems like a great setup episode to the finale of the Kara Actuation arc, which is one of the best anime arcs in Boruto, and one of the best arcs overall. So, I'm going to give this episode a solid 9.5 out of 10. So guys out there, what'd you think of this episode? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Post your thoughts in the comment section down below. Be sure to like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all later. You all stay safe out there and have a great day or night wherever you're at. See ya.